maybe what happened to me, but I did what I was supposed to do. And as I said before, you can always get the good side of the things. And obviously, my friends, the Erasmus, and also like the life I was living when I was in uni. Like I was playing futsal in a team. That was such a great experience. And all the weekends I was having so much fun. So for this part, I'm happy, but I wouldn't have invested 7 years in that. But anyway, so the first time I went to out from Spain was France, Erasmus, and after being so complicated to find out where I was going, now that I did that experience, I'm so grateful that I went to France because again I met very good friends and I learned French, which I wasn't expecting to do.
You before going to France, you hadn't intended on learning French?
No.
Really?
No, why? The French is spoken in France and
a lot of Africa.
Not a lot.
Yeah.
Well, some countries in Africa, and I don't know. It wasn't a language that my English wasn't good, so obviously I had to speak English before than any other language. And I wasn't planning to move to France or to any other countries where they speak French. Now maybe I wouldn't mind to go to live in some places where they speak French, but I'm in Canada now, but I'm on the other coast, so I'm not using it at all.
Yeah.
But no, I didn't think of learning French before going to this student exchange. And actually, when I found out that I was going to France, I did a couple of months of lessons. But I arrived there and I knew how to say hello, how are you, and not much more. That was tough.
And you stayed a year and a half in France?
No, 13 months. So basically 1 year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was 6 months at uni studying, and then I had to do a 6-month internship because that's the way engineering works in France. The last year you do have in the school you do an internship, which was amazing because this internship I used it to do my final thesis in Spain. It was to say, like I could use it for both, and that was great because I was earning more money than some of my friends that had already finished the degree and they were actually working as engineers in Spain. And I was getting more money doing my internship in France.
Really?
Yeah. And I had a great boss. He was super nice. And the bad side is that when I was at uni, I was in Lyon City. And then for this internship, I moved to another very small city called Valence, which is 100 kilometers away from Lyon.
Okay.
And I didn't know anyone there. It's a very small place. And I couldn't have much social life there. But for the first 4 months, well, my friends were still in Lyon finishing the Erasmus year. I was going every weekend, catching the train and going back to Lyon to party. That was my life for 4 months when I wasn't in Lyon. I was in Valence, and then the last 2 months of my internship, I was so bored in Valence, but it's okay. It was the end.
You just had to fight it out, and you made it.
I had to. Well, the good thing is that those 2 months I just spoke French with French people, so I guess I improved.
Yeah.
Because when I was in France, I obviously had my Spanish friends, which I was speaking Spanish with them. But the funny thing is that I met the first day I went to the like students accommodation. I met 3 Brazilian guys, and they were my best friends for the whole stay. And one of them spoke English, but the other 2 they didn't. And they didn't speak Spanish and I didn't speak Portuguese, so we had to speak in French, and it was
Due to a technical difficulty, we are we're coming back to the point.
So yeah, I was saying that with these Brazilian guys, we were speaking French technically, but obviously they had their accent, I had my accent, and then French people couldn't understand us. But after so much time hanging out all together, I could perfectly understand them, and they could perfectly understand me, and we were saying that we were speaking international French. And that actually made me learn French.
Mhm.
Obviously, I could feel a big difference when I started my internship, because then I was working in French and I was speaking to French people, and that's when my French got better.
Mhm.
But it was, I don't know. I think it's so funny that we could speak French between my friends and me, and then they French people couldn't understand us, although we were speaking French.
No, but at the end of the day, it's how you do it. You have to practice. You have to, like I was saying to you before, the way that you do things and you learn the languages that you've learned is you throw yourself into the deep end. You know.
That's, for me, that's the best way. I was talking to my parents the other day and telling them that hopefully one day I'll have kids, and then I don't want I don't want to send them to extra lessons.
Mhm.
I think for me, going to school was not the best time, and then going for extra English classes wouldn't help. It just I didn't like English, so it was like, now I have to go and study more. Like, school is done, and
Yeah.
still I have to study more, and that's not what I want to do with my kids. I just want to take them for a year to whatever country, the language that they speak, the language that I want them to learn, most likely English. And then in a year, they will learn way better than going for 10 years to extra classes.
Yeah.
I started studying English when I was 9, I think, because by then that was the age to start in Spain.
It's quite late.
Yeah, it's not like that anymore. Now they start when they are 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So yeah, but then I think I was 9 when I